because there are just so many things that are just natural to this flesh and to this world that are against the Word of God, but the world is accepted as just natural, but we sin all the time. We go against the Word of God. A lot of times we don't even recognize it. But then there's other sins that we commit and we know it, but then it seems like how many times we just see people just spiral out of control because of sin in their life. Or we see people, they sin, they make mistakes, and then they feel like they've got to do all these other things, right, to make up for it. They've lost the trust of God, and so they got to get God's trust back before they can get back in right standing with God. So many times we have all these different thoughts, right? But so today I'm going to, here in just a little bit, I'm going to try something out. And I knocked my microphone off. I'm getting pretty good with that. Hear that? I cut this with my knife, so it's not that great, right? But God was sharing with me, He's like, when we have in our life, when there's, he said, the renewing of your mind, it's something totally different. The word renewing in this verse was translated from the Greek word anakinosis, which means renovation, from the Strong's Concordance. See, we don't just need a new coat of paint over our natural minds. We need a total renovation of our minds. And God, I'm so sharing with God, I said, why is it that God, that we as Christians we go to church on Sunday, we can be real good on Sunday, but by Tuesday we go right back into being problematic, going against the Word of God, having problems. We struggle all week with we work so hard, we're so exhausted that we don't spend time with Him, that we don't set aside time for Him. Now, how many people here set aside time to eat? Does everybody here set aside time to eat? We make sure we eat, right? What happens at our house, a lot of times, my truck or the van, a light will get left on, and then you'll go out the next day, and you go and you hear, and that's it. The battery has to be recharged. It has to be renewed, refreshed. Or it has to, at least not, so the battery has to be charged then to be refreshed, to be made like new again. And so many times, every day, what God was telling me, He said, you need to renew your minds every day in my Word. He said, so many people read the Word, but they're not renewing their mind in the Word. They're reading the Word and they're just putting on another coat of paint. In the prison, every day inmates get sent out on a pass with paint. You know how many layers of paint are on them prison walls? I don't know, 50 to 100, I don't know. It's like, you ever bought, what's that hard candy that comes in a ball? A jawbreaker? Basically, it's just coat after coat after coat. Have you ever ate a jawbreaker and you take it out? It's a different color. Every time you take it out, it's a different color. And you'll crack and you'll break part of it with part of your teeth half chipped off. And you'll see that you'll break through and there's layer after layer. So many times us as Christians will take time maybe to sit down and to read the Word of God or to listen to the Word of God. But all we're doing is we're just putting paint on the wall. You see, we're not renovating. Painting is not renovating. Renovating is tearing stuff out. It's fixing something. To me, renovating is taking something that's broken or needs work and making it new again. You see, when you go in your house, how many doors are in your house? Lots. You have lots of doors. You have lots of rooms. When in this life that we live, our heart, there's lots of doors. There's lots of things in our life that needs work on, that needs changed. And God was sharing with me, He said, man, you need to renew your mind daily. You got to keep renovating. You got to keep working on you daily. And he said so many times, he said, my people, he said, either one, they're not spending time with me because they're so busy with everything else, or they just do their own haphazard, heartfelt prayer. I mean, we're guilty of it at our house. I'll be so exhausted at night sometimes, it's just like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they wake me up out of the chair, I come in there to pray with them, and I just go through the motions of prayer. And my prayer is wasted. It's not a prayer that is moving, that is taking the Word of God the way it's supposed to be applied. I'm not applying the Word of God, I'm just going through motions. It's not doing anything. It's just taking up air. But how many times do we just take up air, right? In our Christian walk. We're just putting paint on because we want to look good. Let me see here. Anybody know what this is?
I do.
It's that grease from there.
I use this on roof flashings.
Oh, man.
I thought it was something you got out.
So whenever I'm up there on the roof and I'm putting in a new gas furnace, that's what I'm using right there.
Yeah, like that.
Old roof tar.
Oh.
And I put it all over the flashing, and I put it on there because I want it sealed up, right? I don't want that thing to leak, and I'll put that thing all over, and I'll get an S-cleat or a drive out, and I'll put that all over it. And I've already got a hole drilled in the roof, and then I'll run my flue pipe up through that flashing, right? But you know what? Every day of my life of Fowler Heating and Cooling, I would get down, and that stuff would be all over. All over me. I'm like, oh my gosh, how horrible is this? And I would get down and I would try to get some towels. We had blue towels on the truck, and I'd get them blue towels and I would start, wiping and trying to get that stuff off of me, And it stinks. It stinks so bad. I mean, I'd work towel after towel, Oh, man. You got that stink on there all day. And still. And I'll work and I'll get the hand cleaner out and I'd scrub with that hand cleaner with the pumice in it, and I'd scrub and scrub, and there'd still be blotches everywhere. And after working there for 8 years, old Raymond shoots one day, we both got roof tar all over us, and he just jumps in the truck. Deja, can you grab that can for me? He goes up in the truck, he gets his can out, and he sprays his hands, and goes to wiping. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Smells good too, doesn't it?
Just give me some more paper towels, and I have to keep spraying those up.
Smells better than that grease, huh?
They're behind they're behind the pulpit.
I heard that was good for arthritis too.
You get in your joints, you just got to make a hole. I was going to have Shane come up here and have something on the back of my hands and then wipe it all over him. Because a lot of times that's how Christians are, right? They'll be clean here. They keep all the trash in on the back. They hide it. We come to church so many times with a lot of junk in our trunk. But if it's in the trunk, no one can see it, right? We know it's there. Our family knows it's there. But we hide it. But what God's saying is, I need you to renew your mind, that means you open up every door in your heart. You see, God only works if you give Him everything. God requires you to be a living sacrifice, to open everything up to Him, not to hide anything. I'll have to work on my fingernails later. It's a little tougher spot to get. think that's gonna be good enough for now, so I'll get the rest later.
Wow.
But now, look at that. And I told Raymond, I said, you gotta be kidding me. I said, I've been wearing that stuff for days at a time, scrubbing, and I'll have them green cloths. I mean, I even had gotten to where sometimes I'd go home, I'd have pipe dope. Pipe dope was the same thing. This pipe dope we call Rectorsil. It was like yellow when it came out, but you would get it and you'd wipe it on your hands and it'd just be black too, like tar. Couldn't get it off. I mean, I wore that stuff and I would scrub with them green scratch pads. Sometimes it'd be so bad I sit there with them stainless steel ones and just like scratch a little bit, trying to get the worst off, you know.